Welcome to Internet City Live. This segment is called The World is Watching, and this topic is going to be a wide variety, dealing with government policies, the way the government tracks us and our actions and influences our programming, just like the Matrix.
What's next? What's next?
What's next? Well, let's talk about our first topic.
Go ahead.
Okay. Our first topic is going to be how the schools influence our everyday actions, our everyday thoughts, and the way we perceive the world to be is all an illusion. It's all structured. By who, do you ask? By the people we can't even see in our daily lives. We only see glimpses of their existence through the products and the services that is provided for us. Just like this Pepsi can of Coke, if you can hear that. This Pepsi can of Coke is just a perfect example of why we are programmed into believing everything.
The Pepsi's good.
That Pepsi's good, even though it's full of chemicals that we cannot even pronounce.
And it's killing you.
And it's absolutely killing you.
But yet, we buy it and drink it.
Right. We buy it and drink it by the caseload. I don't know the exact statistics, but I know it's probably in the millions of gallons that America alone drinks throughout the year.
And kills you slowly.
Kills you slowly. What it does to the human body, it's quite ravenous, I would say.
So going back to what we're talking about, programming.
Programming.
What do you
yes.
mean by that? Give us more detail.
So the details are this programming, well, I mean, just like how you turn on the TV, you see it everywhere. You see it in commercials. You see it on the can itself. The can itself is a program. What you see on the can is what? Pepsi. Okay. Let's break it down. It's got all these fancy little cherries on there, the nice pop in red and blue and white coloring with the black Pepsi. And what do you think of this? You think joy because of all the commercials that you watch, all the happy people on the beach and in the fucking room. Oh, no cussing. So we're going to go ahead and keep rolling. You see all the happiness associated with this product. All the lies and deception that they cause. And they tell you. They tell you it's good for you. It's a good source of vitamins, sodium, sugars, proteins, good source of calories. But what they don't tell you is all the product and slosh that they put inside of these. All the chemicals. To slow your thinking and slow your production in your everyday life.
Kill you, basically.
Just to kill you. And to keep you comfortable. And to program you. By making you less receptacle to new information.
So comparing your Pepsi can to what you said, school programming, what you're trying to say is that the illusion of going to school and learning and becoming a straight A student or 4.0 GPA or whatever is basically a lie, illusion.
So my view of the school system is, well, to break it down is, you have to break it down to the history of school. What was school invented for? It was invented during the American Revolution, Industrial Revolution, where all these companies started building these factories, and they needed steady workers. that were able to do a simple task for 8 hours nonstop like a machine because they didn't have machines. Why do you think the school system is structured?
8 hours?
8 hours, you get one lunch and 2 breaks. Why do you think that is?
You tell me. I'm listening.
It's because the big giant companies like the steel manufacturers, the miners, and the people that hang the roads or the lines, the electrical lines or those light poles,
Yeah.
they needed workers for that big influx of new products, new designs, new companies like Ford or Chevy or any big company out there that you know, like Pepsi.
Basically slaves.
Basically slaves. But the programming is that you have the illusion of freedom. What is the illusion of freedom? The illusion is that we, the people of America, are not slaves no more. No, that's too harsh. That's too cynical. It's criminal, actually. No, we are employees. Sounds nicer, doesn't it? Slave. Employee. Slave. Employee. Which one sounds nicer to you?
Employee.
Employee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we got that simple concept out of the way, let's break it down.
Break it down.
A slave is what? A person who is beaten, taken away from their family, separated, and put to work without pay or minimal pay. What is their pay? Their ability to live,
Drink.
access to food, just enough to keep them alive,
No drinks.
drinks, I was getting to that, just enough to keep them alive. Shelter, what's shelter? Dirt shacks. How do they defecate? How do they pee? Where does that all go? Manny,
Goes to the soil.
tell them about that thing you told me about on the car ride up here. The thing in Mexico, how they,
Oh, I used to take poops. So there's a big old hole, and the poop will go down, and then that's it. No water nor nothing.
it would be connected to pipes,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would feed into the river.
Feed into the river. No, that was medieval times.
Medieval times, yes.
Medieval times was like
But
that.
now-
because now there's rules and regulations from the government.
Right?
You can't do that. Now you have to have a septic tank, and then it goes in there,
And then it gets cleaned out.
full, they get cleaned out. But yeah, the medieval times,
Right.
it was just a hole. The poop went down. Water from the river takes it and distributes it to the world.
Right. In the slavery times, what was it? It was an outhouse.
Yep.
It was a big hole, and then once that got filled with poop, human waste, they'd cover it with dirt, and then they moved the shack. But that's all they had. Whereas the white man had a toilet with running water.
Yeah, and wipies too.
Yeah, wipies. Yeah. So back to the programming. How are we slaves today? How is the same concept? How did the white man figure out not to call us slaves and call us employees? First, he gave us the illusion that we have freedom. He broke the chains attached to the tree and to our ankles, and he gave us a limited thinking system. What is a limited thinking system? Money. we exchange our time, our hard work, and our efforts for money. And what does this money buy us? Access to things like food, water, shelter, cars, plane tickets. This money is like the chain. We are only allowed a certain amount of links to move freely upon the plantation, which is Earth, based on how many links or how much money we have in our bank account. If you have no money, if you have no links, then you're stuck right there at the plantation. You can't go outside the confines of whatever your given station is. If it's the poor, then you're only destined to be in the poor based on your limited thinking. That is what the school system does. It trains you to be an obedient slave. You want to add anything?
Yeah, basically, they teach you basic information. ABC, multiplication, add, subtract, division. A little bit of history, economics, whatever. Basic information to basically just be a slave. Get a job, get yourself in debt, go buy a house, go buy a car, credit cards, debt. But they don't teach you what you need to learn, which is financial, how to manage your money, how to make money with your brain and not your back. That's what they need to teach in school. But we all know why they don't do it, because they need slaves, period. That's where the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor.
They need people for the rat race. They need willing minds to do obedient work nonstop throughout the day. Go home to their meaningless lives that they think are meaningless. But we don't think they are. We got families. We got futures. We got ideas, imagination. But the bars keep us from reaching outside those confines. And no, the bars are not chain links on our cuffs of ankles or our hands no more, chained to the tree or stuck behind a barbed wire fence. No, they took all of that away and gave us the illusion that it's gone. But like I said, the money is the bars. The money is the chain link fence. And we cannot step outside our mental prison, because everything is mental now. That is why we are getting programmed in school to be obedient slaves. You sit neatly in your desk. You do not be outspoken. You cannot conversate with other people and expand on your thinking. Why? Because you're being disruptive.
Or weird.
Or weird. Right? Mm-hmm. In school, you're taught to sit neat, sit nice, have your pencil a certain way, taking notes a certain way. And you're what? You're graded on how well you perform at this game, an illusion, right? And they give you meaningless work to work on.
Meaningless certificates.
And 1 million documents to prove that you have done this so in order to get approved for work.
Let me ask you a question. What have you done with your high school diploma?
It sits in a folder, nice and neat, in my backpack. And first of all, I didn't even get a high school diploma. I got a GED, and it took me 3 months to do 2 years or 3 years of education because I dropped out when I was a freshman in high school. But now, I'm starting my own business.
Amazing. So that basically says,
I don't need a college degree in business. Would it have helped? Maybe. Possibly. Not the way these colleges are run. Party schools with cults inside of them.
be in debt.
And then you have to take a loan out just to even go there. Just to even get accepted to a brainless rendition of high school. What did you do in high school? Nothing. The people that were productive, where are they now? They might be somewhat successful. They might have went to college. Where did you go? What did you do? Nothing, because you played a game. Me, I was class clown. Making jokes, laughing at teachers, laughing at other kids. Where did it get me? Nowhere. Until I started actually learning things outside of school, outside of the programming. Things that will never get taught in schools. Never. Absolutely not. You have to access this information willingly.
Outside of school.
Outside the
In
school.
the real world.
In the real world.
Right?
Right?
So basically, what I am understanding, that is more important to be out in the real world, learning either physically or visually, than what they teach you in school. I didn't drop out. I graduated early because I got tired of the bullshit. Got tired of them controlling me because they will call my mother and say, if your son don't go to school, we're going to give you a fine and you can go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I graduated from my mom because my diploma, she has it and it's just collecting dust.
Mm-hmm.
And the little China cabinet.
Yeah, I seen it.
So that's all it does. And I got it for her so she don't get in trouble and get a fine. So anyways, the point is I didn't drop out, graduated early. At 15 and a half, almost 16, I graduated. Then from there, started living real life, which is working, slave. And then, like you said, I started learning from the world, you know, the actual world, what it is. Because they didn't teach me anything of value, nothing. The only thing that I can say that I use is math.
Right.
How to count my money. You know, I pay taxes, that's deduction. That's basically the only thing that I use that I learned from school. It's math. Everything else is a waste of my time. It doesn't help me, doesn't benefit me, nothing. Learning about anything in history, Napoleon or George Washington, or all the presidents and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't benefit me to survive. It doesn't benefit me at all. So to me, school is a waste of time.
Right.
And especially nowadays, you can learn anything in the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about college and these people get these loans and they owe these thousands and thousands of dollars, and the time they get out of school, they're ready for this job and they're in debt? What happens to that?
So the way I think of that is if you have an idea inside of your head that you want to provide a service, let's say you want to be a lawyer, then perfectly fine. You have a passion for representing law and you have a passion for this thing, then yes, I do recommend going to school and learning this and providing a service for people. Yes. You can apply this to doctors because we need doctors in the world. We need lawyers. We need service members, nurses, even, right? Important factors in the world. As far as you wanting to go get an accounting job, I don't think you need this. You can start a business doing your own accounting if you get the right training. Why would you go into debt trying to get a sociology or whatever degree to start a career?
Well, for me, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it just, you're not going to be in debt by getting student loan to get a career. I think you learn better, and it's cheaper to learn by your own mistakes, like you said. To learn accounting, it's not that complicated if you know basic math.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a mistake, okay, it's going to cost you a couple hundred, couple thousand, whatever. But you learn from the mistake, 2, 3, 4 mistakes at the most, and you get it to the T. You get it perfect. But now imagine, like you said, a lawyer. That's like a $1 million career because it's like 10, 50, I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but I know it's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Doctors also.
It's 14 years for
Doctors, 10, 15 years, whatever. Half a
Heart
million,
surgery.
$1 million that they spend on schools or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that the mistakes that I'm going to make in accounting is not going to cost me $500,000.
Right.
It's going to cost me hundreds or thousands. And like I said, 2, 3, 4 mistakes at the most, then you become an expert on accounting. An expert on running a business. No matter if you fail 1, 2, 3, the 4th one, you have it. And all the greatest out there, you know, has failed. Donald Trump has failed. Elon Musk has failed. Bill Gates has failed. But they learn, right? Bankruptcy or whatever, and then they do it again. So the greatest of the greatest, powerful, rich, whatever, they have failed, but they learned from their mistakes. They didn't go all these programs to do high school, college, pay, get yourself in debt. Elon Musk dropped out of college. He said it was a waste of time.
Right.
And everybody knows who Elon Musk, and if you don't, then you live in a cave because Elon Musk is one of the richest, powerful, and the ones influential that you see him everywhere. TV, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever is out there in social media. He's everywhere. So I'm using him because he's very famous. Everybody knows him. And he dropped out of college because he said it's stupid and it's a waste of time. You know? Bill Gates, he was just a genius. You know, he invented the first computer at 12, 13, something like that. So he was just meant or born with that gift, and then he is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And who's other powerful? Joe Bezos. That guy started from the bottom. He was selling all his stuff in a garage. And look what he made his company, and he didn't take no college to become or what he's become now. You know, that he's a great person to read on his bio if you don't know who he is. He's the owner of Amazon. He started from nothing. He came from a poor family, came a system of selling stuff from a garage into now, I want to say 90% of the humans use Amazon to buy whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a great example of screw the system, high school, college, get yourself in debt, blah, blah, blah. and then you work hard enough, you learn from your mistakes, and the sky is the limit. Right?
You're right. You're right. It's like that book I read and recommended, Think and Grow Rich. The premise of that book is if you have an idea, then you should run with it. I seen a video on my phone. It was Grant Cardone, which I don't watch him or follow up on anything he is. All I know he does a lot of real estate. I don't understand that.
But you know how he started?
Yeah.
You know how he started, right?
No, I don't.
His bio is he started as working construction,
Is that right?
and he was
Construction?
struggling financially, right? He had a bunch of problems: alcohol problems, drug problems, parent problems,
Lift your mic up a little bit.
all that. So he started from the bottom too. He was a construction worker, and then what's the next step of the construction worker?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is he was saying something about Think and Grow Rich, that it was only thinking about how to start companies or how to do products and how to do this. Thinking. But really what that author was trying to convey in the book is you think about a product so much that it comes into a physical manifestation of what you thought about. Just like this thumbnail that we've created, all three of us. We each pieced our brain together to create this thumbnail.
The world is watching.
The world is watching. And we are in the cage or the jail cell, and the world is watching us. That's my concept. That's your concept. That's producer's concept.
Well, my concept was God is watching us,
Yeah.
and humanity is in a jail cell, like you said.
Yeah.
It
That too.
depends how much money you have.
Right.
You can go somewhere, or you're not. You know, you have no money, you got to stay home,
In the jail cell.
basically.
In your mind.
A house could be jail.
If you have no money, how often do we see people on the street? I don't have no money. How often have we done it? I don't have no money. Limited thinking, just like the schools. I don't have no money for this. I'm going to get sad and depressed. Maybe not us, because we don't think like that. I'm going to get sad and depressed, and I'm going to be mad at the world, and I'm going to be frustrated that I cannot get out of my situation. You know why? Because we're stuck in a limited thinking by what? The world, the devil. And God is watching us and thinking we are so much greater than what we believe ourselves to be. We are created in the image of God. Do you not think He wants the best for us? He wants us to be successful in life.
Always.
He wants us to have beautiful families, beautiful marriages, beautiful everything in life. Everything in life.
And everybody gets it eventually, because God knows
Right.
exactly at what given time He's going to give you that, the perfect wife.
And what you do with it
Yep.
dictates.
Lift your mic up again. There you go.
You know, God knows exactly what you're capable of becoming or what you are going to become. You just got to believe on Him and then yourself. Everybody can get a perfect wife, perfect job, perfect career, perfect business,
Right.
whatever you.
But if you're not centering everything back to God, then it all falls apart.
Do you think a lot of people feel like they're in this prison?
Definitely.
I think a lot of people nowadays are waking up.
Yeah, because now we have so many ways to connect instantly, like we're doing,
Right?
and they become live and have multiple viewers. That's why a lot of people are waking up.
Why do you think they feel that way? Because of the inflation? Do you feel all the way around, or the wars? What?
I think the influence that the government has on us can affect us in so much. They change one law, right? Because the world is watching us. They change one law and affects millions of people. And they are positively, the people who change the law are positively affected, while the people who are subjugated to the law are affected negatively in so many different ways. To answer your question.
Very interesting.
And my point of view is some people,
Your mic keeps going down.
some people will say, I hate living in this world. And other people will say, oh, I love living in this world. And that's basically because they have lots of money. They're
So
gonna
what do
wanna-
they call that? Have and have nots?
Yes, basically. You got the rich people, which is the elites, and then you have the poor people. There is no middle class. You know, I don't know who invented the middle class. It's either you're rich or you're poor, plain and simple. So the 50%, which is poor, some don't want to live no more, or like we talked about, you're in the jail. You're either in the jail in your own home or working at dead-end job that has no future. You're just gonna work there until you die,
Like a jail.
like a jail. You know,
Because there's jobs in jail.
but the rich, they don't work. They make money with their brain, or their money makes them more money. So they get to enjoy the world, travel, whatever makes them happy. So if you talk to the rich, they're gonna be happy. Oh, I don't care what's going on in the world because they don't have no worries. What only thing they worry about is what's in front of them. I want to have a tea party today, or I want to have a gathering to eat steak, or whatever makes them happy. So that's why, yeah, you got the 50% that they want to live and be joyful because they're dying or living at large with a lot of money, and then the other ones that they're basically poor and barely making it for, you know, beans and rice and top ramen, and that's all they're eating for the past 10 years because that's all they could afford. And eventually they crack, and you know, I mean, I can tell you millions of stories of families that, you know, kill themselves, like this husband killed the kids and the wife and then himself because he lost his job, and he knew without that extra income or that income that he had, everybody was going to suffer. So he figured the best thing he could do as a man, as a father, as a husband, is kill everybody and himself.
My
Okay.
father's neighbor in Daly City, he lost his corporate job and he hung himself in the garage of his studio apartment and left his kid to find him screaming. And his mother came down the stairs and started screaming and weeping too. That happened right next to my dad's studio apartment in Daly City. So to piggyback off what you were saying.
So, I mean, that's a great story. It's sad, but it's great because it makes sense what I'm saying. You know, that's why we can go do like a survey and say we ask 1,000 people. Pretty sure it's going to be at 80-20 because it's going to be hard for me to find 50-50 unless I go which I'm probably not allowed because I ain't rich. So, but if I was rich, I know I can go to certain places and maybe I'll get 50-50. But the point is, what I'm saying is, if you do a survey, you know, on the poor side, it's going to be 80-20. That means I'm only going to find 5 people that are going to be happy in this world, and they don't care what's going on in the world because they're content because they have a lot of money. They have no worries. And then the other, they're going to be worried. It's the end of the day. Am I going to wake up and my house is going to be on fire? Or, you know, I have a job the next day? Am I going to get cut short in my hours? I don't know about you guys, but the electricity went out a couple days ago, and people are going crazy because there's no electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And some people need the electricity to make a living because they do stuff like us, you know, right here, broadcasting or sell things online, et cetera, et cetera. So imagine no electricity, millions of people will get financially ruined because there's a lot of people that sell stuff online.
Right. Like those 2 gentlemen that we seen in the store today.
Yeah.
They lost electricity for 2 days, and that stressed them out so much that they went and bought how many generators? 2. I mean, yes, they were from separate households, but they were neighbors.
Yep.
So one went out and bought the dual fuel Champion generator. How much was it? It was like $900.
Yeah.
So 900, and then they traded that in, and then now that they're gonna go each go buy a $1,500 tri-fuel generator. That's insane to me.
I wonder why they were doing that.
Because of their power outage that happened.
Oh, really?
That's what he said. He said our power went out for 2 days. As soon as we bought this, the power came back on. That's why we're returning it. But we're gonna go get the 1,500 just in case.
So basically,
It happens again.
they're getting ready for something to happen.
They're getting ready for something else to happen.
Oh, wow.
The world is watching.
Well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner or later.
Yes.
So
Preparation.
I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it, maybe people are going to take it the bad way, but I'm trying to say it as best as I can. I'll be happy if everything gets shut down. Water, light,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Why?
I know where you're going.
Because we'll go back to,
Primitive.
yes, millions of years.
We will be forced.
Back then, everybody was, in my opinion, obviously I didn't live in those times, but in my opinion, everybody was less stressed
Mm-hmm.
because they had
Everybody was happy.
less things to worry about. They only worried
Yes.
about food
Food, shelter, water,
and working
and enjoying
food
time
and enjoying time with the family.
with their families.
Now, because of the internet and all the social media, that they get brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gotta we gotta buy product. You gotta buy Versace. You gotta buy Gucci. You gotta buy this. You gotta wear a certain makeup. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta have fake nails, fake this, fake that. Everything in that you see on TV is
Illusion.
marketing for the rich to keep making more money of the poor people.
It's illusion.
So imagine all that goes out. That's the best thing that could happen. Well, me that I'm in the poor side, that's the best thing that could happen. Maybe I was in the rich side, I'll be, you know, upset because I'm gonna be losing millions of dollars. But since I'm in this side, let everything go out, and then you'll see the reality of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that complicated, in my opinion. The way I live simple. I live on top of the mountain. Sometimes I have water, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have electricity, sometimes I don't. But yet, I still eat, I still sleep, and I work, and I do basic stuff that another person does that has all that. And maybe I'll make even more money than them because I made myself see the truth that you don't need electricity to live or to be successful. You don't need water. You don't need fancy ass food. You don't need none of that. You just need food and live simple.
Basic.
And don't have a goal, just have a mission. The goals don't, you're gonna get stressed out. But if you don't meet your goals or your own criteria or whatever, you're gonna get stressed out. So it's not about making goals, right? It's about make it a mission of whatever that you want to accomplish in life. Make it a mission and do what's necessary to get it done. No excuses, no surrender. I'd rather go out standing than getting on my knees and surrendering. That's my opinion.
So you're basically saying humble yourself.
Yeah, you gotta humble yourself because society is telling you that you need to get yourself more in debt. That you as soon as you get your check, go out and blow it.
Keep up with the Joneses.
Basically,
Buy that new car, buy that new bag, buy the new shoes, buy the new Jordans, buy the new TV, new phone, new this, new that, money, money, money.
what do you think that they keep inventing like cell phones? Cell phones they don't wait a year. It's every 6 months.
Yeah.
Cell phone comes out every 6 months.
And what do? Nothing. They maybe tweak this or tweak that.
Or they change basic
Bigger
stuff.
glass or
Basic-
bigger button or something, or they take the button away, or
Whatever.
you gotta buy this new adapter.
A better camera,
Somewhat.
bigger, smaller. They fix the battery problem now. They have no whatever problems with the battery, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is, the big question is why every 6 months exactly they come out with new products, and not only cell phones, TVs, all the electronics.
Keep you interested. Keep you wanting more.
I had a plasma TV that I bought 25 years ago and cost me $10,000 back then, but I didn't buy nothing for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Now they make the TV so cheap. Oh, you get a 50 or 60 or 70 for 500, 1,000. Oh, so it's so cheap, but then you buy it in 3 months later or 6 months later because the new one came out. If you think that I'm dumb that I paid $10,000 for the plasma, the first plasma flat screen TV, you're wrong because I paid 10 grand. It took me a couple of years to pay it off because I paid on payments. But I didn't buy a TV for 20 years. Nowadays, you get a TV for 500, 1,000, either it breaks or you hit it because it's so sensitive, it blacks out, and then you go buy it. Oh, it's so cheap, $500 ain't nothing, so I buy another one. And then another year, another one. In the next 20 years, you already bought 20 TVs and you pay more than 10 grand. Same thing with the classic cars. I'd rather have a 35 or 39 Chevy that cost me 50, 60,000 to restore it and make it run perfect. But that car, with time, 60,000 is worth 200,000. But people, they go buy a $200,000 car and it disvalues itself. They're never gonna get back their $200,000.
Yeah, $50,000.
Whatever it might be, McLaren, Ferrari, Bugatti, whatever. But a classic car that you pay 60, 80,000, as time goes on, car gets older, then you get value. Basic information. But people don't understand that. Why? Because the program is set to lie to you and tell
Distract
you,
you.
you need to buy this TV or this cell phone.
How do they tell you that?
Oh, this car. Oh, they tell you, oh, this car,
Repetition.
like Kia, I'll give you a 10-year guarantee, 100,000, blah, 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 blah. But exactly at 101, car blows up. And then what? The guarantee goes out the door. So
Oh, sorry.
you think that
It was
Kia gonna give me
101.
When have you heard a Kia give you 1 million miles?
Never.
But Toyota does. Man, I had a Toyota Camry that gave me almost 600.
400.
And I never did anything to the engine besides basic oil change. All the little components like alternator and stuff like that, starters.
Belts and whistles.
All that was replaced, but I'm talking about the interior of the motor. I never did anything besides oil change. And I don't know if you know this, but they did a test. I think it was Toyota, Honda, and another, and they ran them with no oil. And Toyota is the one that lasts the longest with no oil. So I'm
Toyotas-
not talking bad about Kias and Toyotas or whatever. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just using them as an example that people go based on warranty. because I like Kias. Kias are all right little cars. But what I'm trying to prove here is that they get delusion, say, oh, I'm going to guarantee you 10 years or 100,000 miles. So then they go buy it. But reality, you don't even know that car's going to give you that miles. You know what I mean? I
It
heard
could be
that-
5,000.
Yeah, I heard other stories that Toyotas, in another case, a friend of mine that had a Toyota, he had nothing but problems. And then you got the Nissan lovers, and you got the Chevy lovers. I mean, what I'm trying to say is nothing is guaranteed, but people get the illusion, well, I'm going to buy that specific car because it's under warranty, blah, 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 blah. But it's all an illusion. It's all a lie. And that's my point. If you just don't fall for the illusion and the lies and make better choices financially, because we're talking about money here, then you'll be better off. You know, I mean, what I enjoys me in life is loving my children, loving the people that hang around me. You know, it could be even my dog or an animal, or it doesn't have to be a person necessarily, but what I'm saying is I love loving whatever's in front of me. But there's people out there that go, oh, I love this show. I love this movie. I love this new cell phone. I love this new set of nails that I got. I like this new perm that I got. I like these new eyelashes. Oh, they last forever, blah, blah, blah. All the lies that you got sucked into your brain to go waste your money. If you really think about it, I'll make it simple. I don't care where you work. It could be a McDonald's, it could be a Burger King, it could be wherever you're getting whatever the minimum wage is, $20, whatever it is, depends where you live. Don't matter how much you make a week or a month, if you do not spend your money on unnecessary things, if you want a house, you can get it. If you want an okay or nice car, you can get it. But you need to stop spending your money on unnecessary things. That means fancy phones, going out on dinners, spending $50, $100, basically spending money on things that you don't need. It's more important to learn how to manage your money than making the money. Because you can make 1 million, 2 million, but if you go spend it all, what's the point? You're always going to be poor. You're never going to have nothing. Or you might have it temporarily because next month you can make the payment, so there goes your car. Or your house. Oh, I can't make the payment. Well, the house, it takes 6 months or so to get behind, and then they take it from you and then auction it off. The point is, I don't care where you work, I don't care how much you make, if you know how to manage your money and stop getting sucked in with the lies and the illusions that you need all this stuff. And if you want to buy a home or a car or whatever, travel with your family, whatever it might be, stop spending your money on things that you don't need. Plain and simple. It's not that complicated. At least for me, it's not. How about you?
No, it's not complicated at all. Budgeting your money. But people don't know how to do this. It's a very simple concept.
And it goes back to the programming, right? School that we talked about. It goes all the way back to the beginning from this show is the programming on school. So imagine if they taught you in not even high school, let's say in elementary or middle school, they taught you how to manage your money.
Mm-hmm.
How different the G-Gen now, the G-Gen,
Z-Gen.
the Z-Gen,
Gen Z, Gen X.
right now, you know that they're basically, the way they see it is they're set for damnation, they're set for doom, they're set for failure, that they're gonna have the worst of the worst in the world. So now imagine the next generation, if they start learning from middle school how to manage their money and how to make right choices of what to buy, not to buy, they'll be better off than we are now. Whatever it is, the boomers, the millennials, whatever category it is. If they just learned at a young age how to manage their money and buy the necessary things, which is basic stuff, food, a car to get to point A and to point B,
Right.
right?
Instead, they're in a rat race of keeping up with the new phones, the new cars, the new watch,
Yeah.
nails, hair.
I know people they're still paying their
shoes,
phone,
boots.
and they want the next one.
Yeah.
They still paying the old phone, and they go trade it in, and they get chump change, and then
Right.
they get themselves in the debt for another $2,000 with the iPhones or whatever
Mhm.
Samsungs. How is that making sense? You old the old phone, you go trade it in, and then you get another 2,000, and people they don't think. Sometimes they make decisions, and they don't think before they they take action.
No, because it's every decision when you buy something is based on impulse.
And the programming,
Impulse decisions and programming.
right, unconsciously,
Unconscious.
but it's not. It's programmed
Mm-hmm.
into your brain that you need.
Well, there's certain things. There's certain things you do need, like food and water and stuff like that.
you need food,
To
but
agree, you know.
if we're talking about
But-
food, you don't need a fancy ribeye steak every day.
No,
You don't
of
need a
course not.
filet mignon or lobster, whatever high-end food that's out there. The high or the low or the
Mhm.
middle on pricing,
Right.
the food that you eat is still gonna make you what? Happy and full, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Basic life.
Even the food that we eat is not good for us.
Well, no. Back in the days, you had to go hunt and had to kill whatever you're gonna eat.
Yeah, you
And
had to
then you
exercise.
Clean it. You cut the skin off, whatever. In
It was
pieces.
fresh. It was good.
That's why back in the
It was
days,
nutritious.
that's why back in the days, like Noah and and his grandpa, the ones that
Nobody had diseases. Nobody had
lived
all
old.
these.
They lived over 500 years.
Yeah.
When have you heard that? In the past 100 years, who lived over
Past
500 years besides Noah and his grandfather?
1,000 years.
And why is that? Because of all this
Influence
product.
that the devil he uses.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous.
Do you think that the people in the Bible had soda? Had they had Pepsi?
No. Water.
They had easy cheese, bologna,
That's all the leftovers.
Hot
Bologna,
dogs.
wieners. That's all the junk of the animal.
canned chicken. You think they had
Anything
canned
canned.
chicken,
Anything
canned
canned.
soup?
Anything.
No, they never had
Or
none
frozen
of
food?
that. Frozen
Or the
food, yeah, frozen food.
hungry-
maybe
hungry
in
dinners?
certain parts of the world they froze the meat
Like,
just to keep it fresh.
But the Hungry Man. That's my friends over here.
Yeah, Hungry Man
Hungry
Jack.
Man. I'm gonna warm up my Hungry Man and gonna fill me up with some good nutrition. Yeah, frozen food is not healthy. Period. No, I don't care what it is. The point is that the reason why we don't live 500 years plus is because not only the food, it's the stress. Stress kills. Stress brings you big, big problems, cancer. You know, I've heard that people have lost their eyesight because of stress. So yeah, the food has a big impact, but to me, that's like 10%. 80% is stress. Stress kills. That's why we don't live no more 500 years. Because we stress about everything. If we're going to have food on our table the next day, if we're going to have our lights on the next day, if our kids are going to be safe at school, because all this crazy killings in high school and middle school, you wouldn't even, there's so much stuff going on in the world that it's hard not to stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many things stress can cause, but I know it's a lot.
Right.
You know, and because I'm one of those, I stress, so I've gone to the doctor. My whole face started getting numb and twisted because of stress. So I know I'm one of those people 15 years ago or so that I stress about everything. So then my face started getting twisted. So I had to go the doctors, and I did that the needles. What's it called?
Acupuncture.
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 And that's how I got my face back. So, what kills 80% is stress of all the stuff that's going on in the world. Money problems, school safety for your kids, losing your home. Isn't it funny that after you pay off your house, you still have to pay property taxes for the rest of your life?
Yeah, because
So
you
that
don't
means
own it.
So that means you pay off your house, you get a piece of paper, you can throw away, burn it, because it doesn't mean nothing. If you don't pay your taxes, guess what, folks? You lose whatever you paid, million, half a million, whatever you paid for the house.
Not only you,
You
but
lose it.
your family has to pay that for the rest of its life.
And
Their
back in the days, you made a house out of sticks or hair or whatever, and that was yours.
That was yours. You made it on a land that was nobody owned the land yet.
And if
Now the government says they own everything,
yeah,
and they do.
they do because
You know
they
why?
they want to build a freeway in your
No,
property.
no.
You lose it.
You know why they own it? Because they have an army and a police force to enforce what they want. If you say, no, you don't own this land, I paid $250,000 for all these sticks and all these rocks and dirt and air rights and soil rights. So you can't dig here. Even if I found oil on my property, you can't dig here no more. You can't fly your plane here no more.
Well, yeah, I mean, now that makes sense, but depends where you live. In California or United States, you have a little bit of laws. Yeah, they can come in with the army, whatever, and shoot you and kill you and take your house like that. But in the United States, we have a little bit of more, I guess, protection. They have to do certain things, fill out different forms, whatever. I heard so many different stories and scenarios. If a realtor, for example, that knows about zoning and knows about how or what exactly to do to make the homeowner lose the home, because I don't know if you heard, do you know about zoning? Like A zoning, B zoning, residential,
Like those
commercial. So
minority loans are
yeah, no. That it's the same thing, but that's different. What I'm saying is simple. I'm gonna make it simple. Okay, so if you have a zoning which is residential, right, only, and then you do a business in that zoning, then they can come, the police, and give you a ticket and make you move your business to the proper zoning, which the zoning is business. So let's say you keep doing it, then they have the excuse to give you so many fines and pay so much stuff that, let's say, hypothetical, you can afford it, so then they take you home because you owe so much stuff because you were conducting business on the wrong zoning, which we're talking about residential. So what I'm saying is every location has a zoning. So if you're residential, you're trying to do business, and government keeps coming, giving you fines, and you don't care, and you keep making business, and if the business is making noises and the neighbors keep calling and complaining, eventually you're gonna get so many fines that you can't afford them, and guess what? You just lost your home. That simple.
It's already been almost an hour. You want to keep on going, or?
That's up to you. I'm good. This guy over here, I don't know. I guess we'll be done for the night. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon. Or hearing.
Yeah, we'll be back soon on another episode. Hopefully you guys can tune in to the next one.
And the
This has-
world is watching.
And the world is watching. This has been Internet City Live.
The world is watching.
The world is
always.
watching.
Always. Be vigilant.